his moves. Look at his ability to score.
He's a gamer. He's a competitor, and he's smart.
They play hard, they bring energy, play with confidence.
We knew right away, yo, this kid can play. He's solid, doesn't make mistakes.
It's nice to have some case studies to look at.
Brandin knows he's good. He works, he's competitive, skilled, tough. He's going to be a really good player.
Brandin Podziemski. Some months ago, only a few people in the NBA would have recognized this name, but halfway into the season, it's become a familiar name among fans of the Golden State Warriors. Podz has become the glue piece of the Warriors in times when their superstars have struggled to deliver. And as expected, his eye-catching performances have earned him lots of accolades, including from Stephen A., who is usually hard to impress.
This pick right here definitely helps the Golden State Warriors. A dude that's 6'4", 6'5", that can shoot? Yes!
To understand why Stephen A. and many other analysts are going crazy about Brandin Podziemski, we have to go all the way back to his high school days in Wisconsin, where he averaged 22.5 points and 9.3 rebounds as a sophomore for St. John's. Slowly, he worked his way from being a 3-star recruit as a junior to becoming a 4-star recruit as a senior. In 2021, he was named Wisconsin's Mr. Basketball. Scholarship offers came in from everywhere. Miami, Vanderbilt, and Wake Forest tried to recruit him. Powerhouses like Kentucky and Kansas also expressed their interest, but in the end, Podziemski chose Illinois. That pretty much turned out to be the worst decision of his young career. He was almost permanently rooted to the bench in his freshman season. He played only 69 minutes across 16 games, averaging 1.4 points per game. It was pretty bad, but Podziemski was still waiting to play another season with the team, provided he'd be given more minutes. However, the coach didn't think he was good enough to make the team. Coach Underwood made it known that I was not good enough to play, Podz said in an interview. I didn't want to risk being 20 years old and not playing. I wanted to go somewhere where I had the opportunity. Determined to prove Coach Underwood wrong, Podziemski entered the NCAA transfer portal and landed at Santa Clara. And not only was he good enough to make the team, he was good enough to become a top-scoring option. However, some people wondered if leaving the glamour of the Big Ten for a mid-major program like Santa Clara would hurt his chances of getting into the NBA. Of course, he was getting good reviews, and his NBA draft stock was rising. But the big teams didn't really have him on their radar. Well, that was until February 2023, when two members of the Warriors front office, Mike Dunleavy and Kent Lacob, visited the Santa Clara campus. Their main agenda that day was to watch Maxwell Lewis play for the Pepperdine Waves against Santa Clara. Lewis did quite enough to impress the visiting Warriors entourage, scoring 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. But he was by no means the best player on the court, because Brandin Podziemski poured 23 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 assists to win the game for Santa Clara. Dunleavy and Kent knew immediately that they had stumbled on a star. A few months later, they got another chance to assess Podziemski at a group workout in San Francisco, and he checked all the right boxes. There was a belief that he was clearly a Steve Kerr system fit, but also a consensus belief it was more than that, Kent Lacob said. The talent combined with the IQ and the personality was something to bet on. And so in June 2023, Podz's NBA journey would begin. Coming into a team of superstars like the Warriors, one wouldn't have expected Podziemski to walk into the team. I mean, he cannot possibly outscore Steph Curry and doesn't have the trait nor the quality to outshine Draymond Green on the defensive end. Plus, there were other guys like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody who were trying to earn a spot on the team as well. So the expectation was that Podz would drop down to the G League to play for Santa Cruz. But apparently, he had other ideas. Podziemski started the summer camp on a strong note, attending every workout session, including those organized by Curry, Draymond Green, and CP3. He led the team in deflections and was not afraid to make big plays on the other end of the court. Sometimes it connects, but when it doesn't, he simply picks himself up and tries again. This was the earliest indicator that the Warriors may have signed a future star, but he needed an opportunity to show his skills in a competitive game. After sitting out the first few games of the season, Podziemski got 23 minutes against the Pelicans at the end of October. The youngster finished the game with 5 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. While this performance wasn't as impressive as he'd have liked, it was enough to earn him a couple of appearances in November. Throughout 12 games that month, he averaged 7.1 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 2.2 assists. His stock was rising quickly, but little did we know he was only just getting started. In December 2023, he became the first rookie in franchise history to score 20-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus assists in a single game since Steph Curry in the 2009-10 season. Podz ended the month averaging 11.2 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 4.2 assists, and he carried on this form into the new year. In January, he proved himself to be a low-risk playmaker, racking up 41 assists and 12 turnovers. This includes a run of 4 games where he totaled 27 assists and 0 turnovers. And as expected, he was selected for the 2024 NBA Rising Stars game. Beyond his scoring and playmaking abilities, Podz is an excellent rebounder. This season, the Warriors are the 3rd best rebounding team in the league, and Podz is one of the biggest contributors to that stat. His average of 5.8 rebounds per game is the 3rd highest among the Warriors roster. To top that off, he has the highest plus-minus rating of any player in the Warriors team, and his 32 charges drawn are the highest in the entire league this season. But more than anything else, the most interesting parts of Podz's game are his basketball IQ and versatility. Like a Swiss Army knife, he has a little bit of everything in his locker, and that makes him a useful player at both ends of the court. One minute he's making blocks and stealing the ball from his opponent. The next minute he's throwing dimes and splashing it from deep. This perhaps explains why Steve Kerr has a lot of trust in him, even at critical points of games. Aside from Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, no player on the Warriors roster has racked up more fourth-quarter minutes than Podziemski. Within a few months, he had gone from being just another player to becoming a productive member of the Warriors' rotation. However, now that he's getting plenty of minutes, everyone's keen to find out how high his ceiling is. Draymond Green already answered this question, and we cannot help but agree with him. On the basis of what we've seen so far, Podziemski is everything he needs to become a star player, or maybe even a superstar. He's a gifted passer, he handles the ball with care, and he's pretty good at shooting the ball even from outside the arc. More importantly, he reads the game well and knows exactly when and how to react. However, his game is not without flaws. As a risk taker, he's always gambling a lot of things on the court. When it clicks, he looks like a genius, but when it doesn't, it puts the team at a disadvantage. And as you can imagine, that in high-stakes scenarios like the playoffs, the consequences of turning the ball over to an opponent can be very damning. Also, as we saw against the Jazz where he strayed too far off from Jordan Clarkson, Podz gets lost sometimes. And that's another aspect of his game that he needs to work on. The good thing is, Podz is actually a willing learner, and with guys like Curry, Green, Thompson, and CP3 around him, he will definitely get all the help he needs to improve. But even as we wait for him to reach his ceiling, he's already showing lots of promise, and we can safely assume he keeps trending in that direction.